Hello guys, today we're going to be working on this Bosch dishwasher. The complaint is that it's not working and it's throwing a F09 error code. The model number is on the display. Welcome to DIY Repair Now. Read all the warnings, and during this video you will see one or more of these icons to help you do this repair safe. So we're going to go ahead and start by removing the drain line if it's necessary. In this case, the drain line is long enough, so I decided not to remove it, but you can remove it underneath the sink that is attached on the garbage disposal. Then we're going to look for the screws, and then we're going to go ahead and go down here to remove this bottom panel to be able to have access to the bottom part of the dishwasher and also the legs. They are adjusting it on the floor. Go ahead and be careful with sharp edges always on these appliances. They always gonna have like sharp edges around metal parts, and this is the legs that I was telling you about. They are made to be adjusted and level the dishwasher. We're gonna go ahead and use a screwdriver or a crazy wrench to be able to get them loose. How you get them loose? You turn them clockwise. Clockwise is like if you're gonna go ahead and tie them up, but when you do clockwise, the leg goes in, so the dishwasher drops down, and that way you can lift up and get it loose. I don't know if you're following me, but that is the idea. Now we're doing the other one. In this case, we're gonna go ahead and put anything that can help us to lift up a little. That way we have less tension on the leg. And like I said, this legs has like some areas that you can stick a screwdriver and be able to turn it. Now I want to go ahead and mention that the reason why you can see that I'm having a hard time is because the dishwasher is still attached on the top. This screw right here is to get loose the two legs and the back. Now when you turn these screws counterclockwise, you will be able to get the two legs and the back loose, and that's how you take it off. But this is the reason why it's still not coming off, because the dishwasher is still attached, and I didn't notice because it doesn't have any individual screws. Most of the time, like in other models like Samsung, GE, Whirlpool, you'll be able to see the screws, but not in this model. So I'm gonna go ahead and start looking all the way around in the top of the dishwasher to see if anything else is holding the dishwasher in place, because I already got the two legs loose. Now in your case, go ahead and look for these screws all the way around before you get the two bottom legs loose. That's why I have a little hard time getting those two legs loose. I'm trying to remove this rack, but I changed my mind, and I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it in place to make this job less complicated. And this is where I noticed that it has the two screws hiding right there on the sides. Most of the time the screws are gonna be right there, but if you have like a wood countertop, you're probably gonna find the screws over here on the top. Those in fact, that's most common when you see a wood counter. You will see the screws on the top, but in this case, the marble, it's cannot be screwed in, so they put the screws on the sides. So go ahead and look for these screws, and the two bottom legs that you see me having a hard time getting them loose, it would be easier. I just left this video and I edited the way it was, because I want you guys to see the troubles that I run into it. Once you got those screws loose and the two bottom legs loose, the dishwasher will come right out. Like I said before, in your case, you're probably gonna have to remove the drain line that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Go ahead and disconnect the dishwasher to avoid electric shock. You can disconnect this one right there, but most of the time, like in every other model, you will have to disconnect it underneath the sink, turn it off at the switch, or turn it off at the breaker. Either way, just make sure there's no power while you're performing a repair on any appliances to avoid electric shock as a precaution. Now we're going to go ahead and lift this part of the insulation to be able to have access to the bottom of the dishwasher, and this is the main computer board. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start by removing the top cover to be able to have access to the actual main computer board and see what we got right here. And we see that we have two tabs that are holding the main computer board in place. Besides the two tabs, I'm gonna go ahead and point it out. The part of the connection for the power goes to this board as well, so you have to disconnect the power as well. And like I said, it's two tabs. I'm gonna go ahead and show you right here. This is the connection for the power supply, and you have to keep in mind that this has a male to female connection in the slot where it goes, which is this one right here in this footage. Just make sure that fits in place whenever you're gonna go ahead and put it back. Make sure you do it right, or otherwise you won't be able to plug the dishwasher in the back for power. Now we're gonna go ahead and start removing wires. Go ahead and take pictures before you remove any wiring, because you might need to see that picture when you're putting everything back together. This is the first harness that we are removing, and it's a total of 3 harnesses or 3 group of wires going to this circulation pump. Now that I'm talking about the circulation pump, the reason why it's popping up of F09 error code is because it's not heating up your dishes. If it's not heating up your dishes, that means the heat element is bad, and the heat element is inside the circulation pump. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove this rubber support that is holding the circulation pump in place. And we're gonna go ahead and save it in case the new one doesn't bring it. In this case, it does bring the rubber support. Now, once we got here, now we're gonna have 2 connections. One, which is like a pipe that is going the water back in to the dishwasher, and you're gonna see right there. And the other one, there's actually attached from the bottom of the dishwasher. I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you what I just said. We're gonna remove this clamp. Just put a screwdriver and push it in, and that clamp will come right out. Now you're not gonna be able to reuse the same clamp, but the new pump brings a new clamp. Go ahead and be prepared for water to spill down. As you see right there is water coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what you gotta do to prevent from a lot of water coming out. And if you got water, go ahead and dry it out with a towel in the bottom of the dishwasher. But try to do this before. In my case, I totally forgot to do this at the beginning, but I got some of it out, and you will have less water coming out on the bottom or nothing. So even if you got a little bit of water, go ahead and put a piece of towel, because there shouldn't be any water after you finish this repair, otherwise it's going to give you another error code. Go ahead and put the filter back again and turn it clockwise to keep it in place. That's how it's secure. So when you hear that tap, that means it's in place. So once I explain that, you will have less water here. And now we're going to go ahead and remove the other harnesses. This is the last one. It goes to the pump, and again, this circulation pump includes the heat element in place. That heat element is not working, and that's the reason why it's not drying your dishes, and that's the reason why it's giving you an F09 error code. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you how to test the heat element if it's bad. The first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and test the lead, the terminal number 2 and number 3 for continuity or ohms. Now I'm testing the first one, but this is the 2 that you have to look for, the lead number 2 and the lead number 3. And as you see, I have no beep sound, no continuity. I check for regular ohms and I check for continuity. This is the new pump. You can find the link for this pump in the description of this video. Okay, if you want to get it from Amazon or Repair Clinic or any other site, you will be able to find in the description of this video. Just click the link and it will take you right there. Just order it and do this repair yourself if you handy enough and got the very simple tools that you need to be able to do this repair. This is the clamp that I was telling you about. And this is even better because this one is an adjustable clamp that you can use to be able to secure the other part of the hose. Now, try not to tighten it all the way or leave it loose. If you leave it loose, it's going to leak, and if you tighten it, if you over tighten it, you're going to go ahead and damage the new clamp. Now we're going to go ahead and put the new pump in place, but before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and show you the terminal 2 and terminal 3 on this one, and you can see that I got ohms. See, the old one, no ohms, and the new one, I got ohms. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put continuity with tone and listen. This is the new one. That's the heat element terminals, and the old one is no continuity, no beep sound, no nothing. So definitely we needed to replace this pump. The customer was a little skeptical, saying that if the air coat was going to go away and if it was going to work. But when you get this air coat, almost 90% of the time it's going to be this heat element. The other 10, you can say that it could be a wiring, which is not common. This is the old clamp. These clamps are there for manufacturing, and you cannot reuse those. Just use the new clamp that comes in the box with the new pump. At this point, what I'm doing is adjusting the clamp into the clamp stays in the other part where it goes. When I'm going to go ahead and show it to you in a minute, that way you see what I'm doing in this scenario. Like right here, that is the other piece of rubber. The white piece of rubber is there, so I'm trying to adjust the clamp to make it stay until I put the pump. You can also put it in the pump, but I find this way is best and easier. That way the pump goes in with no issues, and you don't have to do this while the pump is in, because you are very limited on space. Now keep in mind that I'm doing this repair while the water hoses are attached to it. I didn't disconnect any water hoses. I'm trying to keep this video simple, this repair video simple, and but I'm trying to give you all the details about this repair. The drain hose is still attached, the water supply hose is still attached. Go ahead and close the water line just in case something goes wrong. But if your water hose is water valve in the house is bad, go ahead and turn it off at the main source outside the house, just to keep it just to do a secure repair and prevent the flood. Now in my case, I left everything on, but like I said, I was prepared in case something happens. I already allocated everything. This is how the pump goes in. One side goes in this part of the housing, and the other one goes in the white rubber. As you can see in this footage, I'm trying to put the pump exactly where it should be. Go ahead and put the rubber, the support rubber, where it goes, and align the rubber straight, and that's how you know you got the pump in the right position. Just make sure it's pushed in like so, and go ahead and tie the clamp. That way it seals the pump with the rubber hose in the back. Once you tighten it like hand tie, and make sure it's tight enough, make sure that clamp is not crooked or anything, because if it's crooked, it's going to start leaking, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, once you tied up the clamp, we're going to go ahead and start checking to make sure everything in the back is correct, and we're going to go ahead and start connecting the harness back in place. We're going to start by doing the orange wire, then the other three that is connect the heat element, which is the red wires and the green wire. The two red wires are for the heat element, just keep that in mind. And this last one, I believe, is for the pump motor. Now this is the main computer board again, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure we align the back of the board, which is the power connector, and push down until it clamps in place. There's the connection. Make sure it's right. Put this piece back in place. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the top cover. The cover prevents for any moisture or water goes inside the board. Now this is the way that I remove this cover. Just make sure when you push it down, when you hear the click in place, that means it's right. If it doesn't come off that easy, that means you put it back on right. Now plugged in the dishwasher, and at this point we just have to start putting everything back together. If you remove the drain hose from the garbage disposal, go ahead and connect that back in there. But in our case, I didn't have to remove the drain hose from the garbage disposal or the water supply. I'm gonna go ahead and link any other of my videos in the description of this video for dishwasher replacement or dishwasher repair. If you want to see how I close the water valves or how I remove the drain hose, I'm gonna go ahead and put a link in the description of this video, and you can go and check my other dishwasher replacement or dishwasher repair videos. Just to let you guys know, is all the information is going to be linked in the description of this video. Now I'm go ahead and straight up these clamps that got bent over when I was taking the dishwasher out, and just go ahead and put those clamps in place. Now putting this washer back the way they did it here, it was a little complicated because those clamps, even the ones that goes on the top, when it's secure on the top, they never stay in place, so you have to manage to get it in and then deal with it while you have it back in place, like so. Before we put the clamps back in place and screw it in place, we're going to go ahead and adjust the back legs by twisting this screw. Just play with it. At this point, I don't remember how the legs goes up, if it's clockwise or counterclockwise, but when you see the screw around the screw, it lets you know it's type right there where it should go up or down, the two legs in the back. Now we're going to go ahead and do the two legs in the front, and as you can see, I put like a little support there to help me to lift the dishwasher. That way it's easier for me, and I can even do it by hand, or at least start doing it by hand, the two legs on the front. Once I reach to a point that I feel tension with my hand, I keep doing it with a flathead screwdriver, like so. Now this procedure takes a little bit of time, so I fast forwarded this video. That way it doesn't get too bored, but you get the idea. Once you got the dishwasher level with the back legs and the front legs, we're gonna go ahead and secure the top of the dishwasher with the clamps. And as you see, I have to remove this one as well to straighten it out, because they all bend when you get the dishwasher out, especially if you got like a tight spot, and most of the dishwashers will have a tight spot in the counter. Now we're going to go ahead and look for the screw and the screw hole where it was before, just to make sure you leave the dishwasher exactly like it was, because if it was working the way for years, that means it was level. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know in a little bit how you can check when the dishwasher was in the same spot, or how you make sure when it's level with the two legs in the back in a few minutes. Now I'm doing the one on the right. Just put it in the same exact screw hole that you had before. If you have to adjust the legs a little bit more for loosening or tying, just do it after you do the 2 screws on the top. You can keep adjusting and leveling the dishwasher with those 2 screws on. That is the good part about having those clamps being flexible the way they are. Now, if that drawer falls on you back, like trying to get out by yourself, that means the 2 legs in the back have to be adjusted, but that drawer stays in place. It's not coming out by yourself. I have many times where I have to adjust this screw, which, like I said, you can see the arrows there. It tells you where. Alright guys, if this video helped you in any way, you can show us appreciation by giving us a tip using the following options that you see on the screen. If you cannot provide with a tip, is another way to support this channel by just dropping off a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the bell to receive notifications. Thanks for watching. Just make sure the drain line is plugged back in and you open the water. Go ahead and put any of the settings for testing and you will see water coming in.